Don Huffmeister here again from the sunny state of Minnesota. It's minus 22 degrees today, so it seems like it's a good time to work at presenting another video. You'll remember in the last video I had talked about a couple of tips that could improve the elementary band, and there's something about that that I'd like to correct. I had directed you to my website, huffmeistermusic.net, to listen to a tune called Beginner's Polka. And from that you'd get the idea that maybe I was indicating that that was an elementary band playing it, and it was not. It was the 7th and 8th grade band. All of the tunes that are on that website were played by the 7th and 8th grade band. At any rate, for the fun of it, I thought maybe I could take my iPod and play it over some Bose speakers and have it recorded on the iPad. Now I don't know if this will work or what it'll sound like, but if it works, well, you'll get an idea what the band sounded like, and you won't have to go to that website to hear it. So here's my try. It started. Well, it seemed like it came across all right. We'll see how it recorded on the iPad before I post it on YouTube. One of the things that I thought of because of that error is I thought I should really establish what sort of a teaching situation I had, since all of the things that I talk about are rooted in sort of that context. And the band program that I had was in a small town in southern Minnesota, about 35 miles south of Minneapolis, called New Prague. And we started kids in the summertime, 4th graders. We gave them 5 or 6 weeks of instruction to kind of get them going in small groups, and then went from there into the elementary band in the fall of the year. The recruitment process was relatively simple. I went around to about 3 or 4 4th grade classes and talked to the kids about the instruments. I didn't do anything outrageous when I did that. It was really straight on sort of introduction to them. At that time we started kids on oboe, flute, clarinet, the saxophones, trumpet, B-flat, horn, baritone, trombone, bass, and percussion. And what I would do is go into the classrooms and merely show them the instruments, and really, in essence, what I was doing is they were really starting their lessons when I came into the classroom. So if I were taking, say, a flute, several of the woodwinds, what I'd first do is I'd ask them, well, can you blow air through the center of your lips like so, against your hand? If they could do that, then I'd jolly them, say, well, now can you wet your lips like a cat? And they'd all go like that. And I say, well, that's what you need to do in order to play. So if you can do those 2 things, you're on your way to learning how to play an instrument. Then from that, I'd show them how I place the head joint of the flute on my lips, and then I'd play some, close off the tube and play different sounds that way, overtones and whatnot. Then I'd assemble the instrument, show them how they hold it and how to hold it out straight and so on. And I would just play, a scale or 2 with it. Although I could play most of the wind instruments that I taught through an intermediate level, I didn't do, even on my major instrument, I didn't do any fancy stuff with them. I wanted them to just choose it on the basis of what they heard, a few notes and so on. So I wasn't sugarcoating any of this playing, and I didn't tell them anything much about fun and all that. I let them make those determinations for themselves. So in a certain sense, they all got that first lesson that they were going to get in the summertime. They got it several times during the introduction series that I did with the fourth grade, which was probably 4 or 5 sessions of about 20 or 25 minutes. Then we send out the letters and get the returns and so on from the kids with permission from their parents to participate in the program. On that particular form, one of the things that I did is I always asked them what their first choice was and what their second choice was. And I considered that was an important thing to do because we didn't want the band program to become lopsided one way or another. And that second choice became very, very important. And I can tell you how I used that a little later in probably the next video. But say in this one, the main reason for doing that is that sometime in this was the late 1960s, Gemeinhardt or Selmer or somebody came out with little flute cases that were covered with white and blue checks, and it had a nice strap on it. And I tell you, almost every girl in the grade wanted to play that flute. And so I realized that I'd have to have some sort of backup way to transfer enough kids from an instrument that got lopsided within the starting group. And so I found a nice way to do that without being hard on anybody. I think what I'll do is I'll stop this video at this point because it's already 6 minutes long, and I'll kind of pick up from there in the next video. So this will come in several parts, and I'll try to indicate that in the title of the thing. So this is sort of an introduction to the center or the system that I was in. It took place, as I said, about 50 years ago or so, so that dates it in time, but many things remain the same. Okay, I'll sign off here for now. I'm glad I was able to make that correction, and I hope that the sound came across okay. Thanks again, Don Huffmeister.